Welcome to River Fishing Academy. This channel is all about understanding rivers and learning where fish hold and why they choose those locations. Imagine two anglers fishing the very same river. They use the same tackle, the same lures, and fish under the same conditions. Yet one catches 5 pike, while the other doesn't get a single bite. Why does that happen? Because one angler understands where pike are most likely to hold, while the other is simply hoping for luck. In this lesson, I'll show you 7 river locations where pike hold almost every time, even on the toughest fishing days. Pike are not constantly chasing prey. They are ambush predators. They choose locations that provide cover, require very little energy, and give them the perfect opportunity to attack. If you don't understand why pike choose these spots, no expensive rod or premium lure will consistently help you catch more fish. If you've already watched our lesson on how to find deep holes without electronics, you know just how important river structure is when targeting predators. Now, let's build on that knowledge. This is one of the most consistent places to find pike. Why? Because it offers everything a pike needs: cover, shade, baitfish, and the perfect ambush position. But here's where many beginners make a mistake. They cast straight into the thick weeds, expecting the pike to be hiding deep inside. In reality, pike are often holding right along the edge where open water meets the vegetation. From there, they can ambush prey with a short, explosive strike. Fallen trees and submerged timber are another classic pike location. For a pike, this is the perfect shelter. It provides safety, shade, and an ideal place to wait for passing prey. Here's another common mistake beginners make. They get snagged once and immediately leave the spot. Experienced anglers know that's often the biggest mistake. Instead, change your casting angle and retrieve from a different direction. Sometimes it takes 3, 4, or even 5 different casts before you finally trigger a strike. Now let's look at another classic holding area. If you've seen our lesson on finding deep holes without electronics, this river structure will already look familiar. One important thing to remember is that pike don't always sit in the deepest part of the hole. More often, they hold near the exit. Why? Because that's where baitfish leave deeper water, creating the perfect ambush point. Think of it like waiting outside the entrance to a busy restaurant. The food eventually comes to you. Another highly productive area is an eddy. This is where the current slows down or even flows back upstream. For a pike, it's the perfect place to conserve energy while waiting for food to drift within striking distance. Here's another mistake beginners often make. They focus only on the main current and completely ignore these calm pockets of water. Yet some of the best strikes happen right here. Now, let's talk about drop-offs. A drop-off is the transition between shallow and deeper water. Pike often hold just below the edge, ready to move only a short distance before attacking. When fishing this type of structure, try to retrieve your lure parallel to the drop-off whenever possible. Many beginners cast across it once or twice and never properly fish along the depth change. That's a mistake, because drop-offs are some of the most underrated places to find pike. Overhanging trees are another place you should never overlook. Food is constantly falling into the water here. Insects, frogs, and other small creatures. Baitfish gather to feed, and where baitfish gather, pike are never far away. Let me share a quick story. One day, I spent a long time fishing an open stretch of river without a single bite. Then I moved to a tree hanging over the water. My very first cast was hit by a powerful pike. Since that day, I never pass a spot like this without making a few casts. Here's another location that many anglers completely ignore. Where two currents meet, Baitfish often concentrate, creating another perfect ambush point for pike. Wherever food gathers, pike are never far behind. Where two currents meet, baitfish naturally concentrate, creating constant movement in the water. And wherever baitfish gather, pike are sure to follow. This becomes even more productive when deeper water or nearby cover is close by. There's another location that many anglers rarely talk about: narrow openings between weed beds or patches of reeds. These openings act like natural travel routes for baitfish. Pike often position themselves right at the exit, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Before making your first cast, stop for a moment and study the water. Ask yourself 3 simple questions.
Every place a pike chooses has a purpose: cover, food, and the perfect opportunity to ambush its prey. Once you start thinking the same way, you'll stop making random casts and begin fishing with confidence and purpose. If you found this lesson helpful, give this video a like and subscribe to River Fishing Academy. Let us know in the comments which of these locations has produced the most pike for you. And one more important thing: knowing where pike hold is only half the battle. Even the best location won't produce fish if you're using the wrong lure. A pike hiding in the reeds often reacts very differently from one holding along a drop-off. In some situations, an aggressive lure works best. In others, a slow and natural presentation is far more effective. And sometimes the difference comes down to choosing the right color or the right retrieve. That's exactly what we'll cover in our next lesson.